Welcome again. My name is Smita and I work in EdTech every day. Recently, I had conversation with someone from the L&D department of a very large organization. During the conversation, the person kept referring to training as content. At first, I thought maybe it was a mistake and I just ignored it. But after hearing it again and again, I felt uncomfortable. I had to call it out. Because this is exactly where the problem begins. Training is not content, nor it is about building beautiful slides or online courses that is packed with activities after activities that has no meaningful context. It is also not that video that people are forced to watch, and definitely not a checklist that L&D has to complete by the end of the year. Training is much more and has real business impact. It is a bridge between the learner and the business goal. Training helps build skills. It prepares the learners to face real challenges, perform real tasks, and make decisions when it actually matters. And when we reduce training to content, we reduce the whole purpose of learning. And then, as learning and development professionals, we wonder, why haven't we achieved the desired completion rate? We feel frustrated because we have spent days, sometimes weeks, working on training program, but employees are still not motivated to take them. For them, it feels like one more optional task, or worse, one more mandatory task that they have to finish. I had a friend who once told me that she just clicks through the trainings, completes them, and forgets about them. And the only reason she finishes them is because they are mandatory. And honestly, that says a lot. It tells us that the problem is not always the learner. Sometimes the problem is the way we design training. Because if training feels like a content dump, people will treat it like content dump. And most of the times, we as learning professionals also get pulled into wrong focus. We focus on tools, we focus on templates, we focus on how the course looks. And finally, we just take content, chunk it, clean it a bit, and then simply dump it into our courses. Then we add more information, more screens, more activities, more knowledge checks. But many times, these activities are not connected to the actual job or the real challenges the learners face on job. They are just there because we feel that the course needs to feel interactive. And then we hope the learners remember everything until they just pass the assessment. But here's the real question. Are we actually preparing learners for anything? Are we helping them solve a real problem? Or are we just asking them to just sit through the training content and prove that they remember it in few minutes? A good training program should always ask one simple question. What is that final goal we want the learners to reach and what they need to do to be able to get there, not just what they should know. One of my favorite example, and I keep giving this example every time I am working with instructional designers. This example is from the Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi does not start by giving Daniel a long lecture about karate. He does not give them a manual. He does not start by teaching some cool karate moves. Instead, he asks him to wax the car. Wax on, wax off. At first, it looks unrelated. It feels frustrating. But later, Daniel realizes that he was not just cleaning the car, he was building muscle memory. He was practicing movement and preparing for the real challenge. Now, that, in my opinion, is training. Sometimes the learner may not need more content. They need practice. They need good feedback, not just that's correct or that's incorrect kind of feedback. That the feedback should help them understand why something works or why something does not work and how they can improve. They also need a safe space to make mistakes. The scenarios used in the training should feel close to the real world because the goal is to not just complete the course, the goal is to help learners build confidence before they're expected to perform on job. This is why L&D cannot be treated as a content department. L&D is not here to simply produce courses. L&D is here to improve performance. It is here to connect learning with real work. So maybe it's time we stop asking, what content do we need to create? And start asking, what capability do we need to build? Because training was never meant to transfer content. It was meant to build skills. And if we want people to take training seriously, we have to design it that way. Thank you for listening. And if you like this content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.